It's October 13th, 2020, and my assumption is it's around 8:40 p.m. I'm nauseous, and I've had a very bad back for about a month now. When, like, I'm not exaggerating, almost 40 years ago, I went through excruciating pain very similar to this, and I really thought I'd never be going through this again. That's what happens. You get away from something, and then you kind of forget, and then you don't think it'll ever be, and then, oh my God, it's happening again. And the only thing I can go by, even though I have so much other horrors to relive, because I am forever the cow whose cud is forever regurgitating up, re-swallowing, retasting at even a worsest, poisoned, because it's been doing this over and over. You know, you're molested at age 14. It doesn't go away. But now you're 65, so you got lots of other shit. And although there's good things, it doesn't undo the shit. Anyway, I'm nauseous, which I don't want to be. It's not a pleasant thing, but my back pain is just excruciating. Sciatic, and now I'm taking way too much medication, which is probably why I'm nauseous. And what a vicious cycle. My esophagus perforates. Supposedly I'm in a coma for like a month. At the end of all of it, I come out of the hospital after being in 2 hospitals over 2 months, 3 operations, told by 4 doctors and 3 doctors, a nurse, and a social worker. In no uncertain terms, I should be dead. But I come home from this miraculous 3 operations with tubes hanging out of me. And I'm addicted to painkillers. And for about a month I have insomnia, I'm crawling the walls, I'm freaking out. I don't want to exist. Doesn't anybody understand that? I don't want the present back pain. I don't want to be nauseous. Am I going to say that there haven't been many pleasant moments in comparison to the bad moments or the obvious worster moments of so many billions of people? Of course I'm not going to deny the goodnesses. It's all selective grace. It's all shades of the book of Job over and over and over and over within my own consciousness, and obviously the consciousness of billions and billions that have already been. I don't want to live. I'm afraid of the gods who control this earth. I believe they control everything. Doesn't matter, it's all sick. We just need to fillet all pain, all suffering. So all I keep thinking about is when I sleep, I'm so lucky, I'm so afraid I'm going to jinx it, and I'll spend the rest of eternity awake and miserable, like I feel right now. I say to myself, wow, and I'm really in the heart of sleep, and I keep talking about this more and more. I presume that when I wake up, and I hate waking up, and all the shit of the world, even though there could be good things, and in the world I'm in, I'm luckier than many right at the moment, even though I'll be homeless in 49 fucking days. What the fuck, God? I refuse to suck anyone's cock. So I want to be treated like I have millions of dollars, but hopefully as kind as my own dad was. That would be nice. So the point is, I wouldn't lord over anyone, but I surely wouldn't. I could buy a lot, all the help I need. I can't buy friendships. I can't buy, all of that. I can't buy sanity. I have enough money to go, okay, I know exactly where I need to live. I need to be aware, on and on, the thing I keep telling everybody. I need to be like in some converted garage that some 60-year-old hippie couple had 3-4 kids. They were just groovy people. And now they converted the garage in for their kids, whatever. The point is, they don't even need it. They meet me and they go, wow, this guy's out of his fucking mind, but he wants to end loneliness. Like he really does. And he, look what he did already. He hasn't lost a passion. Anything spoke of what he did with turn the frown around is bullshit. Mostly meringue. So he wants to get down. We're in the tech age. Let's do it. Let's do a consistent, concerted, circumspect, like you're building a fucking rocket or something, and someone's life is going to die like the Apollo. It's not perfect, And let's just make sure we do a search and rescue and go, okay, like they have POWs, let's have PO prisoners of wars. How many nursing homes in America? Okay. Let's get a hold of every activities director. Lets everyone know everything is volunteer. We want nothing. We're just doing it because it's the right thing to do, because our religion says for us to do it, because it makes us feel good, because the world will be better because of it. Even if it self-destructs, at least 2 are better than 1. So let's find out all the Eleanor Rigby's, all the lonely people. How many are in nursing homes? How many are all shut-ins throughout America? And it's only because I live in America, starting in America. Affluence has a horrific, and independence, the combination of my rights, my rights, my rights, my rights, and everything is right, but a distortion of which is produced by greed and power in any form of society. It just distorts the badness of whatever that society thinks would be the counter opposite of other societies they've come out of. And ultimately, there's just still greed and hatred and power, and I gotta be famous, and someone wins, so that means you gotta lose, and all this shit. The world is horrible. But my little tininess, hey, let's just do a search and rescue of every nursing home, every shut-in, every jail, homeless shelter, orphanages. I'm sure there's 20 other distinct organizations that I'm going, oh my God, you're right. Oh, I never thought about that institution of isolation, or that form of, like, oh yeah, there's another vulnerable populace, for the use of a clinical term. Every psychiatric facility, and find out all the people that get no to low visits, and then have this massive, like, oh my God, like we're in this coronavirus, everything's viral anyway. We do this massive, astounding, humanitarian, unifying, there isn't a religion that is against, there might be ideologies to exclude, but there isn't a religion or non-religion that is against making sure every lonely person, Eleanor Rigby, that the Beatles sang about, has a real, non-judgmental, uplifting, unconditionally loving friend. No one's against that. So it's like no one is really against putting out a fire. You know, like, wow, let's save those people. So let's end loneliness. You have 40% in your battery, attach yourself to someone that's got 8%. That's 48%, and I've just seen magic. Magic. In my day, turnaFrownAround.org. I founded that. My stage name was Screwy Drewy. I want to Google something. This is 7 years ago. I am so sick. I made everyone believe I was only bipolar. It's all bullshit. I'm a very sick fuck. I'm physically sick. I'm mentally sick. I just want to be dead. I can't stand the pain of the world. But it's one thing I would do if I'm still fucking alive. If people would help me, like I said, I'd just like to find a converted garage, no bugs. It's cool in the summer. It's hot in the toasty in the winter. No wild animals are gonna come get me. No bugs are gonna seep in, and yet I'll be away from the main house, so if a tree falls in the middle of a forest, does anyone see it or hear it? No. So the point is, I'm far enough away so when I'm yelling, screaming, freaking out, becoming 15 different beings, I can't live with anybody, but it won't disturb anybody. This Mr. Hyde will be contained. When I'm good, we're doing this podcast, and we're doing a search and rescue, and we're finding out where the lonely people are. We're having like a telethon, but no money. Everyone just an hour a week. That's it. I don't care what part of this thing you are. I want to just call it Friendathon. At the end of it, we've just gotten friends for everybody. In 1 hour a week, you hang out with someone new. Hopefully no more coronavirus or through the viral way or whatever. But all of a sudden, everybody's got somebody that's interested and is concerned and can complain to somebody for them because they care now. And nothing to gain. No one's buying anything, selling anything, converting anybody. You're just hanging out with somebody. Just like they matter now. And it just builds. You just kind of let that evolve. But it's a commitment of the heart. No, we gotta do one fucking thing where there's no suing and no shit. Can we just be loving? Let's just try it. Couldn't be any worse with all the fucking suing that goes on. I'm not saying that we don't need to be intelligent either. I know it's within the depths of my own shit. It's a very hard world. You want to open up a window, but you just don't want any just bug coming in and going, ow! The whole world is offense, defense. So I don't know the answer. I just know we need to get Grandma a friend. When I say Grandma, I mean every abandoned, forgotten soul. It's gonna die. Just forgotten. They weren't fit. Maybe they were born because of economics, looks, where they come from, their sexual orientation, all these fancy words. The point is they weren't fit or they weren't let in. It's survival of the fittest, and the society decides what is fit and what isn't, what's let in, what isn't. Everybody thinks their society's right, their religion's right. All I know is that at the end of the day, everybody wants air. That's not polluted. They want water that's not polluted. Whether they're atheists or believers, whether they're Satanists or the most religious. They're the worst communist in the sense that just 5 of us control the rest of you, like dictatorship or... we own the gold, you just listen to us, we'll make it happen. And we're the worst democracy, where greed still ultimately. Now, maybe the amount of people that have all the money is spread out, but it's still a pyramid. Everything's a pyramid scheme. There's just not room at the top, right, for too many. Anyway, it's just bizarre. If there was no pain and suffering in the world, If everybody had their basic happinesses and contentments, and they weren't worried about water and food and they were just groovy. I almost wish it was like everybody knew at age 40 or 80, you just, boop, you're gone. But no sickness in between. Somehow the gods keep it. You just fuck all the time, but the babies that should be born will be, and doesn't make you better or worse. Enjoy your fucking. Point is, so I don't want to be in this world. But if I'm in this world, the only thing I know is that companionship. There's just something ridiculous about. There just is. So anyway, Drew Horn 2013 Voice, VOICE award acceptance speech. It's the last thing I ever really did. They flew me to Washington, D.C. to pick my brain, the APA, so that they could make a postgraduate syllabus for future psychologists, and wanted my input on wellness and recovery, and spent obnoxious amounts of money just to do that. Like, really. And that's nice of you guys. It's just stupid. But anyway, the point is, there must be something. I won 12 fucking awards. Should be dead. I want to be dead. I hate this world. So I'm hoping, fuck somebody. All these fucking videos. Somebody's gonna go, you know what? This fucking crackpot piece of shit, bitter old man that's just jaded and hates God. That fucking asshole is right. Why can't we do that? I mean, I can't imagine I don't know what you need to do tech shit. If people are just willing to donate it. I don't know anything I'm talking about. But the only place I could see this thing would be costly is just in the initial, because everything has a price tag, right? Whoever came up with that 1950s saying, I just want to go, it's worth doing for money, really. And the 80s gave birth to, he who dies with the most toys wins, really. Wow, that's just the opposite of compassion and kindness and slowing down for the elderly and the sickly and the deformed and the diseased and the children and then the special ed children. And that's how you measure the kindness of souls. But it's just, society's just the opposite of that. Whew. Anyway, so all I want to do is I believe everyone has some sense of compassion in them. I think I just make this philosophy work. I don't think there's any proof of that, but I've just seen too many people that really wouldn't have given a shit, that were kind of semi-backed into hanging out with someone on a weekly basis, and all of a sudden they started caring about them more and loving them more, and they didn't want anything from them, and all of a sudden they got over all their pride, like, I'm the person helping this lowly piece of shit, and saying, wow, this lowly piece of shit is a diamond in a coal mine, and everyone has goodness, and while I come here, I'm learning, and holy mackerel, and they go, wow, and now it's two are better than one, Ecclesiastes says. Wow. One's cold, someone another. Everybody needs everyone. We're all puzzle pieces. We all have inlets and outlets.